Hey YouTube fam, it's your girl Leah back again with another video. In today's video, as you can see from the title, it is a chit chat video, but it's gonna be a fairly serious topic in today's video. A topic I feel like I've never addressed, but I feel like it kind of needs to be addressed. Today we're gonna be talking about a few things. One, parasocial relationships. Two, the future state of my channel and how I will proceed in presenting content for you guys. And three, some advice for future and current content creators to make sure they're being their most safest possible selves on an internet that is very vulnerable. Now, what is prompting this video? Some of you guys may be completely in the dark, and that is a-okay. On Instagram, a couple weeks ago, as you're watching this, I was very vulnerable in my stories, even a little bit called to emotion at that time, because an incident had occurred that I'm going to be very, very vague about in this video, and probably for future videos, if it ever comes up again, I'm going to be intentionally vague about it, just because I never want to give anybody the blueprint on how to get a rise out of me or to get in contact with me. I don't want to give anybody the blueprint, but what I will say is that an incident occurred that was above and beyond the normal you guys reaching out, you guys who are fantastic. Let me start this off by saying my audience is fantastic. It is amazing. I love the relationship that I have built with you guys. In this video is not talking about 99.9% of you, but it is to that 0.1% who cannot decipher between what is reality and what is the internet. So I had an incident that kind of shook me a little bit. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It shook me. I was a little bit emotional on my IG story when I kind of just talked a very high level again about the incident. It was an incident where an individual went too far to try to get an expectation of an answer from me, and it very much so did shake me a bit. I talked about in that video that I was going to only be posting 2 more videos for the remainder of December. This was like December 14th, so we were mid-December, not ready at all to close out the year and posting. I still had some videos that I wanted to post at the end of December that I was not able to get up just because this incident really had me questioning a lot. So I just posted my 2 videos for the remainder of the year, and I said I'm going to start back January with this very important video to me, just to address the topic and talk about safety. And I think I'm on high alert myself when it comes to safety. I've been on high alert probably this last quarter, Q4 of 2021. I was very much so on high alert just because I had a personal safety issue. I talked about it in a recent video of mine where I talk about I got a ring. I made this video a couple months ago. As you're watching this, I talked about, hey, I got a ring just because something had happened in my own personal vicinity that was a little bit triggering. And I went to go report it, and ironically, or not ironically, luckily I'll say, the incident that occurred wasn't just a me target. Other people had reported the same incident, so it wasn't just a me thing. And I have to say, I was a wee bit relieved when I heard, oh, this isn't just about you. This was an other people thing too, but it didn't stop me from immediately going out and buying a ring. 1 week later, another creator who's big on Instagram, she's a social advocate, she's an entrepreneur, she shared an experience that she had that was way more scary, where a guy came up to her house and tried to actually get in. He put gloves on, he had zip ties, he had a gun, he had several things. And again, I don't believe her event was targeting specifically her because she's a creator. I believe it was just a attack on a black woman, but she does also have 250,000 followers on Instagram. And this happened a week after I felt like I had my physical safety incident in my own home. So it validated the fact that I was right in getting my ring. I am so glad I got the ring. Best purchase that I ever made in 2021. But today's main topic is we're going to be talking about parasocial relationships. And I'm going to insert a clip right now. If you're not familiar with what parasocial relationships are, this should help.
Have you ever had that feeling while watching someone's video or a movie or a TV show that you and the person you're watching could really get along together and be really good friends? Your gut feeling tells you that you will really understand each other and go on to become great companions, although you have never met them in real life and you have absolutely no clue what they are like in private. This relationship you've created is unrealistic and completely one-sided, and although you know this, you still find pleasure in it. This is a concept known as parasocial relationship. The term was coined way back in 1956 by social scientists Donald Horton and Richard Wohl to describe the way in which the audience forms the illusion of a face-to-face relationship with performers in the mass media. In the early days, this meant actors and performers on TV or the radio, but nowadays applies to all mass media figures such as talk show hosts, celebrities, social media influencers, and so on.
Now, the thing about parasocial relationships is there are the good and there are the bad. And for the most part, parasocial relationships are actually really, really good.
From Elvis and Beatles fans to the YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok influencers of today. Our human nature makes us look for social connections with other human beings, so anytime we see or hear an interesting or appealing person in the media world, we try to create a connection with them. In most cases, this is totally normal, and it's one of our common psychological traits. Okay, we know that this interaction is not real. However, although we are aware that a parasocial relationship is a fantasy, we sometimes still react to the situation as if it were real. Essentially, parasocial relationships are not problematic and can be as significant and meaningful as real relationships. People who we've never met can inspire us, make us feel good, and play a big positive role in our lives. Very often we don't even notice the parasocial relationships we've created because they've become so natural to us, and it's become almost normal to feel that we intimately know someone we have never actually met.
Again, 90% of the time, parasocial relationships are for the better. I mean, we form parasocial relationship with TV shows, celebrities, content creators, and all that, which brings us in. If we think about Insecure, it's one of my favorite shows right now, but if we take it back 20 years, who didn't love living single? Who didn't love girlfriends? We create these parasocial bonds with these characters that are characters on TV, and we recognize them. We understand Issa Rae, even though her name is also Issa in real life, she's playing a character. We understand Yvonne is playing Molly, but we connect with these characters that are on television. That's a good thing. If we didn't create these bonds, if TV shows didn't have those parasocial relationship bonds with the characters, the show's tanked. The show's not going to make it. If we can't connect with the characters on TV, then the show's not a good TV show. Those shows typically don't last and get canceled very early because the audience can't create a bond with these people. These are just one-dimensional characters. Parasocial relationships are necessary and crucial in TV shows and movies to make us continue to engage with them. Same thing goes with celebrities. People are part of the Beehive. They love Beyonce. They have a parasocial relationship with Beyonce, which is, sort of one-sided in the sense that Beyonce doesn't know who a vast majority of her Beehive are, but you guys know who she is and you created that great bond with her. Some Beehivers take it a little too far, I'm sure, but at the end of the day, that's the bond that great performers, great celebrities, great actresses can create. They can create that bond like Nicki Minaj and the Barbs. We got Kim Kardashian to a certain extent. I don't think her fan base has a name, but people love and go up for her. If she's going to drop something with Skims, they're going to buy it because they love and have that relationship. Sometimes it's not even about the clothes, it's about the relationship. Same thing with Ivy Park. People are going to buy it partly because they like the attire, but partly because they have that relationship with Beyonce, a parasocial one at that, but they have that relationship where they want to be encouraged to buy it. Now, the newest entry into the parasocial relationship kind of phenomenon is content creators. This is new. This is within the last 10 years, content creating has become a bigger thing, and the parameters around it have become a little blurred. It's a little blurred because in the sense of a Beyonce, a Kim Kardashian, even a Nicki Minaj, all of these people, to that certain extent, there's a level of, well, we only know but so much. Beyonce is a very private person. Nicki Minaj, she's kind of a less private person, but she's still, to a certain extent, we don't know what Nicki Minaj is doing right now. She's not vlogging her life. She doesn't share her life. She doesn't put her life out there. We only know her from certain, characterized interviews that she's having with maybe The Breakfast Club or with Vibe or with DJ Vlad or something. She's having interviews where specialized questions are asked and she's answering them in a constructive way. Content creators, I'd say, have a wee bit of a level of authenticity that a lot of people love that help create a parasocial relationship with our audiences. The bigger the creator is probably the bigger the parasocial bond. And for the most part, those are amazing. I don't know how many comments that I've gotten from people who said, "You're like my best friend in my head, Leah. You're like my best friend in my head." And I love those. Those are amazing. That means I'm doing something right. Continue to send those because it means that I'm on the right path. I'm showing things that are authentic to my life and you guys are enjoying it. A thing about me that I don't know a lot of people and a lot of creator stories, but the thing about me, I've shared this in videos. In high school, my senior superlative was most friendliest. That's what I got. I don't know if that's grammatically correct, but that is what my school called it. And I was most friendliest. Again, this is over a decade ago, but it wasn't that I was most popular. We had a most popular. Most popular sometimes is a level of unattainability. They're the cool, jock, beautiful. They're not as approachable, but they're popular. Like everybody knows them. I felt pride in getting most friendly because that meant that not only the band students, but the AP students, the honor students, the cool students, the jock students, the cheerleading students, that meant a lot of people felt like, hey, I can connect with this girl. She's friendly. She's friendly. She's friendly. I liked that. So it's not been hard for me all throughout my life to create relationships with people from all walks of life. It doesn't matter. I feel like a great deal of people can relate to me. And I feel like the same story goes for a lot of great creators. The great creators on this platform are able to build those relationships, but sometimes you can build them too good, I'll say.
Still, it's important to know that for some of us, parasocial relationships can become a problem. Having such a relationship with a fictional character in a TV show makes it pretty clear that it's a one-sided fantasy. But when the parasocial aspect appears between real people, then it becomes a bit murky. The rise of social media and the fact that anyone with a free Facebook or Instagram account can become a public persona has allowed parasocial relationships to skyrocket. The rise of content creators and influencers means that today we are bombarded with endless famous personalities, and the iconic celebrity status of the 90s has been significantly watered down. These days we can not only enjoy the content of our favorite mass media performers, but we can also interact with them through likes, subscriptions, and comments. The implication that we are really connected with the objects of our parasocial relationship has never been stronger, and the number of public performers and media celebrities we can connect to is limitless. Regardless of how often we remind ourselves that social media is not real life and that the Instagram highlight reels are just a show, we can't keep ourselves from creating a bond with these online personalities. The more content they share, the more information on them we get. Or at least we think we're getting, because unless we actually know that person in real life or have some verified information on what they're like outside of their online persona, we don't really know or see anything beyond the things they decide to share with us. In such an overwhelming atmosphere of parasocial bonding, it's pretty inevitable that someone may cross the line. There are numerous cases where celebrities, public performers, and influencers were contacted, stalked, and even harassed by their fans. Once people get used to seeing someone's private life every day, their living space, their backyard, or their friends and family, forming a parasocial relationship and believing that you actually know someone becomes pretty easy.
But stepping back a little bit to share, even there could be some negative relationships when it comes to celebrities as well. So it's not just can be negative in a social media creator space. It can be negative in a celebrity space. I mean, we talk about the parasocial relationships that Beyonce has with her audience that may feel one-sided to a bit, but for the most part, we haven't heard any stories about it negatively impacting Beyonce to a level as it has for like Ashanti. Take Ashanti, for example. Ashanti has dealt with a stalker. She's been very candid about her experiences dealing with this stalker, and the stalker, all it took was, I believe they were at a concert, or he came to a concert, Ashanti might have looked in his direction. That man felt like, oh, she's making eye contact with me, therefore she wants to be with me. So that eye contact that she made, and she probably glanced across the audience, but that one person took that to mean, okay, well, Ashanti loves me. And so he had to spend 3 years in prison, and I believe he's out at this point, but she has to go back to renew a restraining order with a person who just does not get it, who just does not get it. And that can be a tough thing in the celebrity world, where again, Ashanti shares through her music a little bit of her life, but she doesn't share in the same capacity as people who are on social media do, who don't have publicists, who don't have people around, managers who create a feed or who curate a feed. Some creators on IG curate their own feed and create a feed that is very much so storytelling. But Ashanti, an artist who I'm sure has dealt with this on probably a micro level, but this took it to a whole nother extreme. And I'm sure many of celebrities, Kim Kardashian's home was broken into in Paris and things were stolen. I'm sure a lot of celebrities have these stories. However, content creators, again, being on a micro scale as compared to celebrities, we don't have those same security measures. Beyonce has security walking around. We don't a lot of times even feel like we need it. Why would we need it? I only have 100,000 people who follow me. Why would I need security around me if I'm walking out and about? Who cares about little old me? But you don't know who out there is watching, and that's the important thing about this. Now, a lot of the times, like I said, these parasocial relationships, either in the celebrity world or in the content creator world, are very, very good. Remember when Kobe died a few years ago? It hurt a lot of people. A lot of people who have never met Kobe in real life were devastated. Even myself, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but it took me out. I had to pull over. I was driving when I got the news and I was like, this ain't real. Somebody text me. I did not believe it. I was like, Kobe, who do we know? They text me Kobe. They didn't even say. There's like, Kobe passed. Who's Kobe? Do I know this? Oh my God, not, because I didn't even think. My mind wouldn't even let me gather that it's Kobe Bryant. And again, that's a positive parasocial relationship. There's nothing wrong with feeling remorse when a famous celebrity who had such an impact passed away. But when we talk about content creators, there's a level of tangibility that comes with us that is a little bit different than it is, again, for a celebrity. For example, if you DM Kim Kardashian, there's not much of a thought that Kim would respond back, or Beyonce, or anybody. There's not a thought that these people will respond back. However, a lot of the times there is an expectation of response from creators, no matter how big or small. I've seen people get very upset that Jackie Aina seems to not reply to a lot of comments. I've seen people be like, well, the least you could do, but they would never the least you could do to a Kim. Because I think they think, well, we made you, Jackie. Well, at the same time, it could be like, well, we made Kim Kardashian too. So if you're going to make this whole we made you thing, we make all the celebrities. It's just what arenas are they in. There's a level of you're my friend in my head, so therefore you're my friend. So my friend would respond back to me and you're not responding back to me. That's a problem. I'm not liking you. Same thing goes for if you meet somebody in real life. Hey, I met, let's say, I don't want to keep using Jackie. Let me use Alyssa Ashley. I met her in real life. She didn't want to take a picture. Why didn't she take a picture? She wasn't doing anything. I'm not getting a picture. She's not no Beyonce. She should have taken a picture. I think there's a higher expectation of tangibility with content creators than there is that expectation with celebrities. And again, we are no way comparison to celebrities, but we are real people too. We are real people who invite people into our lives. And for me, I've never not taken a picture. I've taken a picture with anybody who's ever asked me to take a picture. If you're out there right now, the few of you, that hasn't happened hundreds of times, but it's happened enough where I've looked bad sometimes and I've looked good sometimes, and I still let you guys take that picture. I'm still a content creator who at my level will still respond to comments, who will still respond to DMs, and I get a lot daily, and I still work. I'm not even a full-time creator. I work 40 hours a week, so I wake up in the morning, I try to respond to some comments. I get off at night, and typically later on at night, I try to respond to comments. If I go out and I'm waiting for food, so say I go to a hibachi place and order some takeout, while I'm sitting there waiting for the food, I'm responding to comments. So the little downtime I have, I try to respond to comments. And the thing about my channel is, because it's an evergreen channel, I'm responding not to just comments that were received on recent videos. I'm responding to comments that were received on videos from years ago. So as a creator, we're getting constant comments on different videos at different points in time. And this is just on my YouTube. I also get comments in my DMs. I got messages in my DMs. And I got one that comes to mind where I got a DM, and unfortunately I didn't see it in real time. I just missed it. I just happened to miss it. And then the person came back probably 2 months later. Again, my bad. I missed the original one and said, thanks a lot for answering my question. I know it was sarcastic, but I'm the type person who is very I was bummed. I was like, man, how did I miss this? I'm usually so good at my comments. I'm usually so good at catching things. How did I miss this? And now I'm like, oh, this person hates me because I really internalized that. And that's a me thing. And I know that's a lot of people could probably brush it off, but I'm still at the size where I try so hard to respond and heart comments to make sure I'm on top of my IG. I'm on top of these things. And when I don't hit that, for me, I feel like, man, I let somebody down. Now they're going to unsubscribe. Now they're going to hate me. I feel like, again, people have these relationships with us and they build them with us as creators, and they feel like we should be a lot more tangible. Question or the DM was something along the lines of, what is your favorite hair for water? It was something that I have a video on, which it would have been easy enough for me to just link a video and move on it, but if I had seen it. But the thing is, nobody would DM Ashanti and say, hey, what wig did you have on in that 2022 performance of blah 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 blah? And if she didn't respond, I don't think there would be any kind of ill will. I think there's an expectation of, well, she's not going to see it. She's not going to see it. And I try to see every single one, but for most of our creators, there's an expectation of response. There's an expectation of a one-to-one relationship. Even though I have, 115,000 subscribers, one person feels a one-to-one relationship with me, and I am trying to create a one-to-one relationship with 115,000 people and then some. I'm trying to grow, so I want more people, of course, to be a part of this. But it's so difficult when most of those people have a one-to-one, again, relationship with my channel, and I'm trying to create a one-to-one relationship with everyone. It's hard to please everyone, and there are, again, blurry lines when it comes to the relationship that most people have with creators. Speaking of blurry lines, one thing that I nipped in the bud on my channel about roughly 2 years ago was try on hauls when it comes to swimsuits specifically. If you notice on my channel, I haven't had a swimsuit haul video in about 2 years, 2+ years on my platform. And it wasn't the fact that I wasn't getting views on them. My swimsuit hauls were some of my most viewed videos. I'm gonna go right now as I'm even speaking and just type in swimsuit to see how many videos come up. The last one that's posted, so when the circle's open, that means it's posted, was 2 years ago. 10,000 views, 16,000, 23,000, 5.5, 9.6, 49,000, 6.9, 39. For a channel, again, 2 years ago, my channel was probably hadn't hit 100,000. I hit 100,000 this year, so 2 years ago, probably in the 60,000 range. I kind of, rapidly grew around that time and then post that time. So 60,000 subscribers. I got a lot of views on that type of content. And you're like, well, then why just stop making it? If you see 1 year ago, you see a cup sheet try on haul video that is got the little block that means it's unlisted. I made that video about a year after I was like, I think I'm done with swimsuit hauls. But then I made that video and I was like, I don't want to post it. So I reached out to the brand because the brand sent me things, and I said, I don't really want to post it. I don't want to deal with it. And you might be like, well, what's wrong with swimsuit hauls? Swimsuit hauls have the tendency to bring in the wrong group of people. And what I mean is, let me just click on, let's choose at random, my Zawful try on haul. My Zawful try on haul. If I go to the analytics, so look at the audience, and then I'll look at my gender on those videos. The gender on those, let's do the lifetime, since the lifetime of that video. About 83% female, 16% male. Which you're like, well, that's not a bad demographic. I mean, 16% male. I made that video for women though, because I have a unique body type in the sense that I'm very top heavy, bottom I ain't got nothing going on. And I've been very clear about that on this channel, that my channel is for mainly women. I hate to say that, but my channel is for mainly women. I create hair content, I create lifestyle content, I create a channel for the betterment of women. If people ask me what my channel was about, I honestly say it probably isn't for everybody, because a great deal of my videos are geared towards women. So when I saw the demographic and the lookup of this video, if you look at it in comparison to, let's look at one of my most recent just try on hauls in general. I did an Amazon and Zara try on haul. And if I look at the engagement on that one, or the audience on that one, it's 99%, It's 99.2% female and 0.8%. If we think about what 16% of that last video I did was, 16% of, I think it got 49,000 views. I'm not good at in the moment math, but future me is putting in, it's probably roughly, 5,000 men viewed that swimsuit try-on haul, which there might be some men who might be transitioning and still want to look confident in bathing suits. I understand that demographic. That's the optimistic me. There's a greater group of men who are watching those for not so good reasons. And I realized that a couple years ago when I was looking at playlists. So YouTube tells me when there's public playlists with my videos in them. So I can go through my playlists and see where you guys have put me. And a lot of you guys have put me in like hair playlists, makeup playlists that you have, foundation review playlists that you may have. You guys put me in some good playlists that you guys want to watch at times. But then I realized there were a couple of playlists that were other just swimsuit videos. Just other swimsuit videos from not so great places. And then I realized there was a sector of men, I did not know this exists, but there's a sector of men who just put us in playlists to watch in a not so great way. And even though I create my videos with the best intentions in mind, which again is for the betterment of women and to have outfit choices, whether they be bathing suits or non-bathing attire, I create those videos because people want to see what things look like on a body. There is a faction of men who again are just that small 3% that ruin it and have now made me not even feel comfortable making swimsuit try on haul. So I've gotten some comments in my most recent Cabo vlog, hey, can you do a swimsuit haul with these clothes that you had on in this video, the swimsuits that you had on in this? I would love to see them. And unfortunately, I can't because I made a decision a couple years ago that even though it's going to be helpful to most, there is a small faction of people who take this and take it in a whole nother direction, in a direction I don't even want to be a part of. If I'm going to use an example, and you might be like, well, I'm looking on your swimsuit videos and I don't see any comments from anybody. They're being very quiet. That's because I delete all the comments that come in on those videos that are not so savory comments. I'm going to give you an example of what those comments do look like. A content creator that I love, she's much younger than me, but I originally found her when she was still, I think, living in North Carolina. I used to follow people who lived in North Carolina, and no matter how old or young they were, I just follow them because, again, parasocial relationships create a bond with somebody who actually lives in your same state. She does a lot of Savage X Fenty. Kennedy Simone does a lot of Savage X Fenty try-on hauls. And her try-on hauls typically this one has 856,000 views. But if I look at the comments on her video, and I just sort it by, let's go to her comment section, and then I sort it by newest first. So newest first, because the top comments are probably going to be yes, women loving women type of thing, women showing love to other women. But if I go to her comments, there's a guy saying, wifey looks so good. From Julio, there's you are so adorable. From Anthony, thought I can give you better than wow, you're remarkable. Mr. Brian says, damn. Hello, beautiful. Marvin says, so beautiful, so fine, my future wife. Sean says, you are beautiful and so fine, ma'am. He goes, it's a lot. Raul says, translated, beautiful, wonderful, what a perfect body you have. You have a hot body and what a tastiest butt. Everything about you is much tastier. D says, all of you. Tavo says, excellent. Franco says fabuloso. Lorenzo says, so you're getting the point, right? You're getting the point. And this was not, I didn't search men only. I just sorted by newest first because, again, those are the most recent comments that she's gotten on those videos. These videos attract a different crowd. Now, having said that, the same thing, Fenty videos, swimsuit hauls, even gym clothes to a certain extent. Gymshark is a big brand. That's a brand that shows off bodies. Skims hauls more recently, another kind of tight form. Anything that's tight, I found that men gravitate towards on this app. They love that on this app. And again, we're creating content not for them. If we wanted to create content for them, we would just create an OnlyFans. If it was for men, let's generate this for money and create an OnlyFans. A majority of women who create those swimsuit hauls we're doing that because other women have access to and other women want to see it. Again, my swimsuit haul had about 80% women watching it because 80%, but then those fractions of men who scoot in and make rude comments on those videos. Now let's take it a step further. they make these comments. These men create parasocial relationships in their minds where, as a few of them says, hey, future wifey, hey, future boo. Now, some of them stop there. Just with the you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're everything. There's no rule against being thirsty under a girl's video. There's nothing to do. You can block them. We can block them as creators, but it's a public forum. We can block them. Blocking on YouTube only stops from commenting. It does not stop them from being able to view our content because YouTube is a public forum. There is no way to make someone not see your videos. Just like there's no way to block anybody from using Google. Google cannot say, well, Antonio, you can't use Google anymore because they just moved to another computer or moved to there's no way to stop Google from happening. YouTube is owned by Google. Same rules apply. You can never stop anyone from having access to YouTube because you don't even have to create an account to view a video. You have to create an account to be able to comment and to like, but to view anything, you can do that regardless of your status. So we can block. But what if one of these men under Kennedy's videos takes it a bit farther, says, hey, I can't get access to her. She's not responding. You didn't see any hearts or likes from Kennedy on these comments. So, hey, what if I DM'd her on Instagram? Oh, man, she's not responding. Maybe I email her? Not responding. Twitter? Not responding. What can I do to get more access to her? There's a lot of people who will go those additional steps. Again, my situation in mind, when the other steps didn't work to get their attention. And again, this is for the 0.1% because a lot of people recreate those relationships in their head, but they won't go as far. They'll take it a step. Hey, she didn't respond to my DM. I gotta go one further step. What can I do? But you never know what step is the final step. You never know how far somebody's gonna take it. You hope that there's somebody who says, hey, look, she didn't respond. I'm going to move on. Hey, I just being funny under her video. You know what? I didn't really believe that she was future wifey. But a lot of people create, again, these friend in the head mentalities. What stops them from creating a girlfriend in the head mentalities? And that's what's leading me into today's video. I think because my personality can be very inviting for a lot of people, or it can be very much so, I'm very open. And my openness is for, again, the progression and betterment of women. But some people, again, have access to YouTube, and I've gotten comments over the years, not even just recently. A lot of people feel like it might be just recently because I've been talking about dating more or vlogging. But over the years, I've gotten DMs, are you single, emails that are for business inquiries. My email address is for business inquiries. It's not for shooting the shots, so to speak. But I've gotten emails, hey, I live in your city. I would love to connect. I would love to talk to you. You're a beautiful woman. You're a beautiful woman. You're gorgeous. You look like this. Are you single? I've gotten, again, DMs. Are you single? Are you single? Would love to talk to you. I would love to connect with you. I've gotten videos. Some people have tried to video message me on Instagram and try to connect with me that way. Those are the ones I do ignore. Your questions about anything, anybody who sent me a DM, anybody who's commented on my video, you know how responsive I am. I'm always responsive. No matter what I'm doing, I am responsive. If for somebody who works a 40-hour-a-week job and still tries to have a life outside of YouTube, I'm very responsive. But I did not create a YouTube channel to date. This is not my dating resume. This is not my dating application. I have made content about dating on a general sense, but a video about dating is not an invitation to say, oh, well, she's talking about dating, let me go into it. No, I'm talking to other women and I'm having an open conversation with women. My videos are for women. My solo travel videos are to encourage women to look into it. So what's changing about my channel? Again, I said that at the top of the video. I was going to address some things that I was going to change about my channel that are slight and that you probably won't even notice, but I think will give me a slight peace of mind to not have another person take it too far, because I block. I'm good at blocking. I'm good at ignoring things. But if I block, ignore, not knowing the person on the other side of the computer, I don't know how far they're willing to take a block, ignore. Again, 99.9% would take a block, ignore as a, she don't want to engage. They can call me a B. They can call me whatever they want to, but a lot of them get it. And a lot of them would stop engaging. Some people don't get it and might go. So on my channel, what I'm changing changing is I'm not going to share my romantic life anymore. Call me Issa Rae. Call me Issa Rae. If you follow her, you guys know she recently got married, but nobody knew she was even dating anybody. She popped out with a husband like, I'm married. I'm probably gonna do that too. I think my personal life, as it pertains to my male relationships, is definitely something that I'm going to keep under wraps. So I could be dating somebody right now, nobody would know. And I know for a lot of people, that's gonna be a pain point because a lot of people connect with me as, hey, single black woman living in the city, living a life, not having children. Like, the people connect with me on that. I've seen myself in I've seen forums created where people have talked about who are some black female non-mommy vloggers, because I'm getting inundated with people who are mommy or in relationships. I'm looking for the single women, and I saw my name pop up as a content creator, and I was like, people, because people want to, again, create a parasocial relationship with somebody who is kind of like them. So I was like, oh my God, people see me like them. But for my safety, there again is that 0.1% who will see, not in a relationship, I can insert myself. The next thing, there are going to be no more financial planning videos on this channel, which I talked about in my last one. I'm not going to be talking about financial stuff. And again, my financial videos came from a place of helping women, helping men and women. Those videos were probably for men and women to understand that, hey, multiple streams of income are, especially at this point in life, needed. One stream of income is too close to zero that it needs to be amped a little bit. In today's inflation world and home buying world, multiples are needed, and I talk very, very openly. But there's enough people on this platform who talk openly about money and all that, finances. Me being removed isn't going to take anything away. I'm also not going to talk about my home buying process. I said in my last financial video that it was my last time talking about it, but my next point would be to take you guys along on that home buying journey. Again, for safety reasons, 99% of you guys could handle that content, but then there's a 0.1% who would not be able to handle that. No more swimsuit haul try on videos. I didn't think I needed to make that announcement, but I haven't made a swimsuit haul video in 2 years anyways, and I know I never announced why I wasn't making swimsuit try on haul videos ever before in the past. It was just, again, a personal decision based on the playlist I saw my videos popping up in, but I probably won't unless there's like a new line that's fantastic for women who are shaped like us and it just made absolute sense. I might bite the bullet and continue to delete the comments that disgust me, but for the most part, I don't foresee any more try on haul videos when it comes to swimsuits, so sorry about that. No longer am I going to be posting in real time when I'm at like things that are local to Charlotte. And what I mean is, kind of a couple weeks ago, I went to brunch at a place in Charlotte, and I was there when I posted it, and then one of my best friends pointed out, like, maybe now that this has happened, just don't do it in real time. Not to say don't post it. So maybe after you leave on your way out, post the photo, because I want you to see the content. I love that place. If you're in Charlotte, go to Easy Like Sunday for lunch, because that was a good brunch spot. I mean, I like the atmosphere, I like the aesthetics, I like the mimosa flight they had. I wanted to put y'all on game to a place that I got caught up in the moment and I posted in real time while I was there. And I'm never a poster in real time when I go on my travels. Most of my travels, I might post in my stories, but I do not post in my feed until I'm back. I don't post my vlog until weeks later when I'm back. Chrissy Teigen, I think, made a post a few years ago that said, there is a startling trend on Instagram of people pretending to still be on vacation when I know for a fact they've been back home for days. As your elected official, I will work to end this. Chrissy, there are so many people who don't like Chrissy for one reason or another. This tweet was just not it, Chrissy. Like, you being a celebrity who has, tons of bodyguards, I'm sure you and John Legend, got people around you to protect you. I think you forget that people, again, post not in real time, not because they're pretending like they're still on vacation. It's the safer option. It's safer to post when you're back at home and you're away. If I'm in Miami, I'm going to post when I'm back home, because depending on the person, there might be eyes out for that person in Miami. So I can't even say I get what she was trying to say. I don't get what she was trying to say. Nobody is posting those photos to pretend that they're on vacation. They're posting it a lot of the times because they don't want to lose the content. They love the pictures that they took on vacation, but they either A, want to enjoy the vacation in real time and don't want to be worried about post this in real time, or B, it's for safety reasons. And the same thing goes with the meet and greets. I've gotten a lot of questions to do meet and greets, and mainly in Charlotte, and then I got it a lot in LA because a lot of people who follow me actually live in the LA area, and I was like, yeah, I could do that. Not when I'm doing my solo travel. So I went to LA as a solo trip. I wouldn't have felt comfortable even prior to this situation doing it. Now I wouldn't even still feel comfortable doing it. But the thing about a meet and greet is that I would have to announce on a public platform that I'm going to be somewhere specifically. And it always harkens back to me. There was a YouTuber, and this is a not so commonly known story, but her name was Christina Grimmie. She was a content creator who had been on YouTube for several years and kind of blown up and gotten famous through covers. She did a lot of covers. She was a cover artist at a time when back in 2009, I've been watching YouTube for 12 years now. In the early days of YouTube, there was a lot of covers, people who used to perform like covers of songs, like Tori Kelly used to be big on here doing that. Chloe and Halle started on YouTube doing that. And then Christina started doing that on here. And she gotten pretty big to the point where she even started releasing her own music. So not just covers. So she stopped doing like covers and she started actually releasing her own songs. And then she did a meet and greet in Orlando, Florida in 2016. And she was about to reach in for an embrace from one of her fans, one of her followers, and then he shot her, fatally shot her. So he killed her. He ran out of the facility. Her brother was actually there. He tackled him, but he was able to get away, and then he shot himself. So it was a murder-suicide of this YouTuber. It's roughly about 6 years ago, coming up on 6 years now. Now, the story didn't get as much traction. It got a little bit of traction. I heard about it, of course, because this was prior to me starting YouTube. This was 1 month prior to me starting YouTube. I started in July of 2016. This incident happened in June of 2016. So it got my attention because I had been thinking about it and I was like, oh man, this is scary. But it didn't get as much public attention because ironically, it happened in Orlando, Florida. The guy drove down from St. Petersburg, Florida when she announced she was doing the meet and greet to do this. But it happened in Orlando on the same night that the Pulse nightclub shooting happened. So the Pulse nightclub, if you remember that incident, I remember both equally, but Pulse definitely got the national attention because it was multiple people shot in one arena. You heard the 911 calls, you heard all of that. This incident, Christina's incident and Pulse happened the same night. And so a lot more people remember Pulse, but I remember that because she was doing a meet and greet. She was a YouTuber. She wouldn't have thought at all, why do I need the security of a Beyonce? It's that 99.9% of people who I love, I can embrace. Why can't I hug my audience? Again, this was pre-COVID too. I'm gonna hug them. I'm gonna give you a hug. I've hugged everybody who I've met. Like, I hug people because 99% of people have great intentions. This one guy saw something posted and he said, this is going to be my opportunity, and unfortunately she lost her life. I believe she was young, she was in her 20s, younger 20s at this point. Who knows where she would be at this point if she had been able to continue on. There's not many stories of things like this, but all it takes is that 0.1%. So meet and greets, I would definitely have to think about in the future. I mean, not to say, again, I'm not big in any capacity. People in the comments might be like, who does this person think she is? Who's gonna come? But again, I don't know anybody's breaking point. I don't know how far somebody's willing to take it. I don't know whether a DM, a IG, a block on these things will trigger somebody to be like, well, dang, if I'm gonna get blocked on everything, maybe I gotta show up. Maybe she's telling me I gotta meet her in person. Maybe she's telling me that my way to shoot that shot isn't through DMs, isn't through messages on my YouTube channel. It is through in person, face to face. And again, for future creators out there, think about, these are things to think about, and it's not to scare you. I got a lot of DMs when I posted in my IG what was going on and being very vague, that from people who were aspiring creators who were like these type of things scare me, these type of things scare me. And I would definitely say don't live in fear. Again, I started my channel 1 month after I heard a story of a YouTuber being murdered, so don't let these things scare you, but definitely be safe, be cognizant. So think about your name creation, think about what you're going to decide to post, think about how open you're going to decide to be. Don't think that, oh well, I'm only creating this type of content, it shouldn't attract the wrong crowd. Anything, it doesn't have to be swimsuit hauls. People create relationships and people can fall in love with you as a person, whatever you do. If you have that type of personality, doesn't matter the type of content, it's you that people are creating that bond with. And sometimes it's a positive bond. Again, parasocial relationships are way, way, way more so positive than they are negative. But I will say, and I will leave and close this video off as we get into the future of things. Again, content creating, YouTube creators, and this parasocial relationship we have now is only, what? I'd say YouTube's been around for 10 years, but vloggers and this connection and the growth of it's probably been around for the last 6. So it's still fairly new and people are still navigating those blurry lines. And I do think it will only get worse as we get into this meta and people are more pulled from reality and pulled from creating real relationships with real people in real life and more drawn to online relationships. The people who are already socially awkward, socially in a place where it's hard for them to make friends in real life, this online world, and if they wrap themselves in it, they can really get into those very negative parasocial relationships. So I don't think this is a issue that's going to get better, unfortunately. I think as long as it's out there and as long as it's talked about, and a lot of people don't talk about it because they feel like, well, the people who love me are going to misinterpret it and they're going to think, well, I don't want the relationship with anybody. And again, I think the people who get it, get it. The people who watch my videos and know I don't care if they hug me in person or take pictures with me and comment even personal questions. I've gotten comments on, well, are you going to get a breast reduction? Are you going to do this? I've gotten very questions that most people will be like, those are invasive. How do you do that? And I'm like, I'll answer your question, child. I don't mind answering those questions from the people who, again, I feel like have that positive, but those 0.1%, again, such a small amount, and so much change has to be done on my channel for such a small amount. And I know it sucks and it's like, you shouldn't have to do this, but it's gonna be what makes me feel comfortable. You guys won't feel a big shift. I'm still gonna vlog, I'm still gonna do all the stuff that makes me happy, but I'm gonna still in the back of my mind go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, making sure that that 0.1% is handled. And that is the conclusion of today's video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. Even if you didn't like it, still give it a big thumbs up. We want all the love and support over here on this channel. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of the content that I make over here, and make sure that you're following me on Instagram at LeahLaVon89 so you can keep up with me in real time. Those are the only places you can find me, so don't look elsewhere. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. She a gypsy girl, she a fine like the sunrise. The way she move.